Oh, look at that. All right, you guys stick your head in, everybody.
Get it,
Because then they're going to be like, that's what this camera does. Welcome to Warren First 931. I'm your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter, alongside with us, these fine folks of Warren County.
I'm Brian Carr.
I'm Joe Harvey.
I'm Melody Krim.
Yes, we are packed in like sardine days, as I like to be. We're live at the Black History Museum, and because we wanted to come out here today for several things, not just what's going on in Warren County, but what is happening for the month of February, because it is Black History Month to begin with. But we'll get Mr. Wayne Wolford in here. He is going to talk with us all about this fine establishment. We actually walked around and we got to see all the cool things and what this used to be and what it is now. It's just mind-boggling. And if you're ever in here, ask about the ramp. I'm just going to throw that out there now.
Especially if you need to exercise or to see if your recent foot surgery took.
Yes, yes.
I can say we are all good now.
But with that, kicking it off with Joe Harvey. He is with the Park Theater here in downtown McMinnville. And y'all got a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah. The spring season is kind of that's our heavy hitting time, because we try to kind of work in the on the school schedule, because most people, if you want to go see music, you go see music outside during the summer. So we try to keep things between like September and June. We're not saying we don't go outside of that sometimes, but our bulk is there. And then in the spring is just when less things are happening. We don't have to compete with the fair. We don't have to compete with Christmas stuff or football, Right. So it's a real good time for us to put the best of the best of our schedule out there. So, but yeah, we're starting it off this weekend. Well, we kind of already started off. We've had a couple of good shows. We had Sweet Baby James Taylor tribute. That show was a lot of fun. You think about, I love James Taylor. I grew up on James Taylor. Yeah. And you think it kind of being very low key and maybe kind of quiet, but that guy, he did great crowd work, but still kept it at that kind of like, very, not low energy, but just very relaxed. You could go in there. It wasn't. There was nothing to get too worked up about. But he was taking requests for the second half, and my mom got one into him that made him laugh.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of the song. The one about the pig. Anyways. But anyways, that was a great show. So we kind of started off with that, and then this week though we're continuing on with the Tennessee Songwriters.
I was going to say that's a big thing here.
Yeah, well, it's this is a statewide competition.
Yeah.
So the TN Vacations puts it on. It's to celebrate Songwriters Week here in the state of Tennessee. And we're part of a qualifying round. So you come play at our place. We have a competition. We decide a winner. And then we send it off to the next round, which I believe it might be the Franklin Theater.
I think it is.
Yeah, and then the final round is at the Bluebird, or the final performance is at the Bluebird. I think if you win one of those rounds, you get to play at the Bluebird. Yeah. So that's a legendary.
Oh, it is. Now, how many people will be performing this weekend?
We have, last I checked, I believe it was 16. Including 16. Yeah, we wanted to cap it at 20 because we were afraid if we do any more than 20 would be a long night.
20 would be a long night.
We had 16 sign up, and one of them is Mr. Lee Carr, Brian's brother, also a member of the Joe Harvey band. He's going to be there. He sets
his own schedule.
Yeah, he sets his own schedule.
Yes, he does.
But he's phenomenal. He played for Hark in the Park, and we've talked about this, and I mentioned it in a TikTok video I did. He wrote a song for Hark in the Park and then sang it 3 days later. I mean, it was wild. It was such a great song. I mean, I would have bought that on digital platform and played it in my car.
I think it was the first original ever performed at Hark in the Park. It was,
wow.
Yeah, I really do. It was. Man, we were all just floored by it.
My brother.
Yeah,
now he wants to claim it.
He came in. I'm not going to throw him under the bus too much, but we had asked him like, "Hey, you want to play on this song or this song?" And then he's like, "Sure." This is all beforehand. And then he comes in the day of. He's like, and we were like, "Yeah, did you learn that one?" No, I didn't learn that one. He's like, "Did you learn that one?" No, I didn't learn that one. And then he was like, "But I got this original." And then he late. He teaches it to everybody in 15 minutes. Goes into it, and we're all blown away by it.
It was incredible.
It was one of the best songs of the night for sure. It was.
Well, and they didn't tell us that ahead of time. I'm in the audience going, I don't know this one, and then I'm looking it up on my phone. I can't find this one. What is this? And then they said, and I was like, that's why I can't find it.
I was very, very proud of Lee for that one. That one really was great. But I'm sorry, I've gone astray.
Songwriters.
Yes.
16, capping at 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna have 3 judges with local connections. The third one, we're waiting to confirm, but the 2 that I do have confirmed are local music legends, Chip Green and Lucy Hastings.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so they wanted connections when they ask you to for qualifications for your judges.
Yeah.
They want people who are locally connected, but also have connection or experience in the music industry.
Yeah.
Both Lucy and Chip have those, and they're great people. We love them at the theater.
Did Izzy Gray sign up?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Josh from August Lows, though, defending defending title champion. He will be. Yep. So
y'all make things complicated. I'm supposed to be at the basketball game tomorrow night, taking pictures, and now y'all doing all this.
Well, I'll be honest.
Things going on.
We base the date around since there's so many of the other qualifying rounds. Common John's in Manchester, they're going to do one too. They're doing theirs Saturday night, so we didn't want to do it on the same night.
Okay,
so that was how we chose the
very
the
understandable.
night. We had a window we had to do it in. We knew a weekend would be better for most. But yeah, so we're really excited about that one. I think it's going to be a great event. If people ask for the songwriter stuff and the songwriters night, and they're good to do, but it's something you can only do so often. And the fact that this is a statewide competition, I feel like it really fits
it does. And now if anybody wants to come and watch this, how much is it at the door?
It's a $5 ticket. You can buy it ahead of time right now if you want to on McMinnvilleParkTheater.com, or you can buy it at the door. But it's a cheap $5 ticket. We'll have concessions, and we're gonna have Begonia's gonna be down there serving beer and pizza. So
there you go. Serving them.
Your whole night is right there in the theater.
Catered.
Yeah, we love having the local vendors come in and sell stuff for us. So, but yeah, that's gonna be a great night. And
while you're in there getting the tickets for that, Twitty and Lynn comes on next weekend.
Yes. Well, next weekend is it is a interesting weekend of two contrasting shows. I'll say that. I'll put it that way. Because Saturday night, like you said, we do have Twitty and Lynn, which is it's the granddaughter of
Loretta
Lynn
and the grandson of Conway Twitty.
Yeah,
they get together. They do all their songs.
It's so cool.
I've not seen it, but everyone I've
heard it's phenomenal.
Everyone raves about the show. So
and I'm going to miss that show too because I'm going to be at prom. So. Adult prom, not regular prom.
I was going to say, which prom?
Adult prom. We'll talk about that again in a minute.
Adult prom.
But
I hate that I'm going to miss that.
Because we need to talk about that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that show, that it's one that's been heavily requested at the Park Theater. It's happened to places close to here, but we've never had it here. We're really excited to have that one. Everybody just says it's just the best show. So we're really excited about that on Saturday night. But the night before, something that is, along the same lines and kind of a tribute act, we're going to have Are You Ready For It? A Taylor experience.
I know.
So, yeah.
Are you ready for it?
James Taylor again?
Oh my gosh. I mean,
what am I missing?
We just had Taylor Swift just finished the highest grossing tour of
that
all time.
That Taylor.
That
Taylor.
Yeah,
it's a different
Swifties
Taylor.
calling all you Swifties.
I thought she was a Chiefs fan. I thought she was
no.
I am so excited she gets to go to the Super Bowl again.
Yes.
I mean, last year it was her versus Eminem.
Yeah.
But this year I think we've got it's her team and somebody. I don't know, y'all.
Eagles. But speaking of this, it's a good experience if you didn't get to go to it, whether it was in the States or not.
I had one dad come in and buy the tickets. He's like, and he's buying it for like a 4-year-old. So it's a white lie for sure. But he was like, we're not going to tell her it's not the real Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
She's going to figure that out eventually.
But yeah, no, the reason we booked this show is, we hear all the time about these stories from, mostly older people in the community of all the great times they had at the Park Theater.
Yeah.
Where they talk about Saturday Showtime and just all the movies. Everybody's like, I saw E.T., I saw Star Wars there. All these great things that happen there. And we really want to be able to have events that give this next generation that ability to have that great time. And programming for those younger, especially the kind of the age group that she hits, that tween to young adult. It's tough to program for them. So we figured, we do a lot of tribute acts for all these other things. Elvis sells out every year he comes. So we were like, let's try Taylor Swift. There's more out there than you would think. Mm-hmm. But we had a company that we like working with who had this one. They really raved about it and it looked good. I think it's going to be a good time. We're going to we've got the middle school dance team is going to come in. They're going to do a friendship bracelet making station.
Because that's a big thing. For those of you who aren't a Swift hero, like why? That's a huge thing.
But so it's going to be a family friendly or a Galentine's kind of event. It's going to be a good time. But like I said, it was something a little off the beaten path. We wanted to try, and we wanted to try to do some programming for that.
And the tickets are on sale for that.
Tickets are on sale for that one. Yeah, and we I work with a Swiftie who helped me price tickets according to the some of the
you were one of the best
the codes and I will admit that I think all the little like secret messages and things she puts in her stuff, I think that's really funny. All the little the numbers, all the Easter eggs. Easter eggs. That's the better way.
Costume changes are incredible, and her security guy is intense. I fell down that black hole the other day.
Oh, really?
There is nobody. I mean, he is so good to her. Yeah. I mean, he's on top
like
of
family.
It. There was a clip where she was leaving one of her concerts and she was wearing typical Taylor Swift stuff, but the reporters, the photographers were knelt down to get pictures, and he made them all stand up. Yeah. So they ended up not getting pictures, going up her skirt. I mean, out of respect, he goes, everybody up right now.
What do you remember? She did that against that guy that touched her butt. Yeah. And that's the best way to say it. And she said, "You touched me," and he's like, "No, you don't." And she's like, "Yes, she did." And she sued him for just $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all she asked for, $1, because to make it like, I don't want your money. Yeah. I don't want you to touch me.
But I want you to know this is unacceptable behavior, and you're going to be accountable for it.
Like there was a picture they took at some award show, and I can't remember the guy's name, but it was a producer, and she quit working with him and everything. She's like, "No, that's not. We're not doing that."
Yeah.
I mean, she is now. If y'all ever have met Taylor, she is. I'm going to be short compared to her. Like I cannot. She is a tall human being.
She is tall, but she's so graceful and so generous. And then she gets a lot of hatred. But every town she goes in, she finds a charity and donates to.
She does
a charity in need. Well, it doesn't matter what country she's in, what state she's in. She always gives back.
She's boosting the economy too. It's the Taylor
exactly.
Effect.
Right. Yeah,
it is.
She is a Tennessean. I mean, Pope John II.
Well, not originally.
Her parents live in Nashville.
Hendersonville, but she was not originally. They moved down here to start her career, and she was going to Hendersonville, and her mother would drive her to the record studios, but would tell her, "If you want this, you got to go get it." And at 14 years old, was sending her in there to pitch herself to these record companies. And my name is Taylor Swift, and I want to record for you, and made her earn that. If you want it, you got to get it. Yeah. And I think that's why she is where she is, because she's fought for this from the beginning. It's not something her parents got her. Yeah. It's something she wanted, and she went after.
She did.
As you can tell, we have some pretty knowledgeable Swifties here.
And this is why we're doing the show, because it's a passionate fan base, and
it's relative.
It's relative, yes, and we like I said, we're trying to entertain everybody. We figured it was worth a go. I'm really excited.
And again, what night is this?
This is going to be Friday, February 7th.
A week from tomorrow.
I have a feeling I know we're two little twins.
I've got 4 at home that I know where they're.
I was going to say, they don't mind walking down the Park Theater for that, Joe, do they?
No, they do not.
You guys have got some great shows coming up.
Yeah.
I am so excited. Edwin McCain, you've got Sister Hazel. That's
Sister
not
Hazel.
No, we're not allowed to say Sister Hazel. It's Sister Hazel, but it's not Sister Hazel.
It's Ken and Drew.
It's 2 people from a
Ken and Drew from Sister Hazel. Yeah. No,
we aren't allowed to say the SH word.
Well, no. You can say
it's a copyright thing.
You just have to say Ken and Drew from Sister Hazel.
There we go.
That's why that's.
They're not going to shut me down for saying something wrong.
No, they were specific, and like you can't just say Sister Hazel when we,
Yeah.
when we were,
Yeah,
but
Ken and Drew formerly from Sister Hazel.
Yeah, Ken and
But-
Drew.
And if
Yeah,
you grew
they're,
up in
I'm
that
very
generation
excited.
of
they're,
them,
the, they're the songwriters. Yeah, we're really excited about that show. Valentine's Day. So if
Yep.
you need something to do for Valentine's Day, no reason not to. We're really excited about that one. It's going to be an acoustic show, so once again, kind of low key. But got the storytelling. That's the thing I always love. Like,
Yes.
some people get disappointed by an acoustic show, but for me,
the storytelling.
the acoustic show, the storytelling that comes with it, you can hear the song on the record at home,
Mm-hmm.
but
Lori
the
Morgan?
stories, man.
Lauren Morgan was that way. Pam Tillis was that way. I'd
Yeah.
love to see Lori and Pam come back together. I've recently, here we go with the TikTok, but I've recently gone onto TikTok and they're
Lucky.
best friends and their videos together are hysterical. They would be so much fun on the stage together telling stories because they were already telling stories on each other
Mhm.
with the other person not being there. I can't
Oh.
imagine the banter if they were both on stage. Now, wait a minute, that's not what really happened. But I love those acoustic shows because I like the background stories and I like
Yeah.
the
And
history
it's
of
not so
it's
loud.
not just music.
It's more
Yeah.
intimate.
Yeah.
It's very-
Yes.
And the space really fits that, you know,
Mhm.
because, some people want the big rocking show in there. And I'm like, I would love to have that in there, but with all these,
Yeah.
fixed seats, it's
Mhm.
it's tough to have that in there. But this saying that, we're going to kind of try to get a little loud.
I was gonna
run
say,
with the
you're
Taylor
still
Swift
gonna
show.
play with the
So,
odds. There.
yeah, we're gonna try that sometime. I always say if I could have one magic button in the theater,
Yeah.
it would be one magic button to where I can just press and all the seats on the floor go away,
Yes.
and then I can press it again and they all come back.
Yes,
You know,
yeah,
that would be my one magic button because it
Wouldn't that be so
Yeah.
great? The floor would open up and the seats go down, and then
I'll be honest, I get offered some of the well-known like 90s grunge bands, and I tell them, like, guys, I'm sorry, I don't have a place for the old millennials to mosh. I was like,
come
oh,
on, Joe.
There's that small space, but
Yeah.
it's not really a good mosh.
Just
Yeah.
go behind the stage, Yeah,
Although I will say Santa and Grinch almost started a mosh pit.
they did. Yeah,
Oh,
several
man.
times,
Oh,
several
yeah.
times,
That was wild.
There's nothing closer to a riot that we've had at the Park Theater than when Santa shows up.
I know it was insane.
But what else is going on?
So that following weekend, we're going to stick with it. You don't have any reason to be bored on Valentine's Day
No.
weekend. The next night, a favorite of Main Street McMinnville,
Yeah.
or Main Street Live, is Forever Abbey Road.
They're
Beatles
phenomenal.
Experience. They're coming. John Salloway and his team, they always do a great job of those songs. So yeah, they're going to be here on the 15th. So you can come see Sister Hazel on
Yep.
Friday night, or the Beatles Experience on Saturday night.
And
So
get a date weekend.
yeah,
I
make it a
love
whole
that.
weekend. Yeah. And
You
then
got it all booked up pretty good.
yeah, well, the week after that, we've got Warren Arts is doing Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a whole week of. It's a whole
they're
week for
doing
me. It's a
great.
whole weekend for everybody else.
Yeah.
I always end up talking about them in week spans because they come in there and they rehearse in the space and they make sure all the sets are right.
And this is Mary Poppins Jr., so it is a kids show.
Yeah.
This is all kids performing this, and they are doing a phenomenal
yeah.
job.
You're a part of it. Are you?
Yeah, I'm the photographer. I've been photographing everything and support team. Go team.
14.
But no, they're doing a great job. The costumes are incredible. It's going to be a great show. Another great show by Warren Arts.
We love everything Warren Arts brings in there. It's
we got a
it's-
doozy of a schedule this year. I'm
Well,
so excited.
they you guys do it at such a high level, but at the same time, you also keep it community oriented,
Yeah.
and you
Yes.
make it accessible to people who want to try their hand being
dabble
on
in,
stage.
yeah.
And we've got
I
a lot
love
of
it.
new faces in this production. You tend to get the same kids over and over again. Park Theater Group is doing High School Musical, and I noticed a lot of the same theater kids are in that one that were in West Side Story and that are in several Warren Arts programs. But with Mary Poppins Jr., we've got several new people. Mary Poppins herself, I don't think has done stage
I
or
don't
has
even know
done
who it is.
very few.
I don't even know
I
who the
know,
man.
Oh, she's in the band, and I just forgot her name. But I think she's new. You'll see some familiar faces, but you'll see some new ones. Dr. Rob, who's one of our chiropractors in town, his daughter is making her stage debut. She's one of our
nice.
chimney sweeps, and she's natural talent. It's wild.
All of it.
So I'm very much looking forward to this show. It's going to be good.
And so, Joe, all these events you're talking about, you can find easily with a click of a button.
Yep.
Yeah.
McMinnvilleParkTheater.com. And that's actually thank you for saying that, because that is something we need to stress in this day and age of third-party ticket sellers.
Mhm.
Go to McMinnvilleParkTheater.com.
And don't be a scalper.
Yeah.
Buy
Well,
what you're going to use.
these most of the people who are scalping tickets for park theater shows are robots. They're
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, it's not
websites.
the robots then.
yeah, they
Don't be rude.
you know, they'll go in, they can click on links and teach a robot to do all
Yeah,
the
they
things that
can.
they need to do, and they'll
Crazy.
sell you the ticket. The ticket will probably be good, but they'll charge you an extra $30 for it.
Yeah,
So,
don't
but
do that.
McMinnvilleParkTheater.com, always McMinnvilleParkTheater.com. Don't necessarily just Google it and
No.
take the first link.
Yep.
Go to McMinnvilleParkTheater.com and say there's a big button when you first get on. It says "Get Tickets."
Yep.
And that's got our schedule. It's got everything we're doing.
You get to
But
pick
yeah,
your seats.
and you
It's
get-
great.
Yeah, and
And the prices are always very reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to what you would be paying at Bridgestone or one of the big things, you get a
For
more
real.
intimate setting and you get more reasonable prices.
And you don't have
And
to
you
pay
got
for
better
parking.
company.
Yeah.
Right.
free parking behind
Yeah.
the park theater. There's no
You can
charge
get
for it
food
there.
across the street.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's a great
Yeah.
experience.
But the we've had some people run into that. Our CPA did make us push taxes and our credit card fees forward, but those are very small things. You don't get the Ticketmaster $50.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, almost as much as the tickets.
We're gonna hold your hand through this whole thing fee.
Yeah.
So McMinnvilleParkTheater.com. I can't stress that enough. And also you can always call the box office 931-506-2787.
Or come in.
Or you can come in. We're there Monday through
Yeah.
Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We love seeing faces.
Yeah.
You can come see Miss Donna.
I love. Oh, dude.
Miss Donna's
Donna's
amazing.
great.
Yes.
Asher's great. The whole team at the Park Theater is so incredible, and nothing against the people who used to work there. But
Yeah.
this is a powerhouse team. We've
Yeah.
never gotten shows like this. It's a bigger, better Park Theater, and
Yeah.
I'm loving
I love
this
the
new look.
mix.
I'm loving this new
I
look.
appreciate
I
it.
would
But look,
like some
I know-
grunge. I'm not gonna.
Oh,
After
hey.
you threw that out there,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
old millennial here.
We're-
I've been pushing that for Main Street
we'll
Live
see-
for
we'll
a
see
couple
it.
of years.
We'll see what
Bring
we can
the
do.
eight-
Well, do a geriatric check to let whoever into the mosh pit. We'll make
Hey, I know we've got to go, but while we've got Joe here, I'm going to bring up something on your wife. So, his wife is one of our wonderful teachers, and her pre-K class is collecting hearts
yeah.
across the world again.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a Valentine from all 50 states and different countries. They already have Florida, Idaho, Nevada, but if any of our listeners are from any other states and want to send in a Valentine to this pre-K class, the address is on our Facebook page, Warren First Facebook page. Please, please, please do that.
Look at you. Help me get some brownie points at home.
I'm
You're
working on
You're doing awesome.
Get it.
See that segue? I'm good at segues.
Well, actually, one last show I wanted to hit while we're still talking
Uh-huh.
about February. We're doing our local connection series
Yep.
where we're staging local bands.
Yes.
TC Bryant band.
Yes.
TC Bryant. We love the TC Bryant
Shelley
band.
and
Yeah.
Timmy.
Those guys know how to entertain. They're so good.
They're incredible.
Yeah, and we're really excited to have them. That's going to be the last day of the month. That's the 28th. I want to make sure I got
Yeah.
that right. But 7:30 start time on that one. And that one, actually, you need to know about that one because if you buy your tickets ahead of time, $10. Buy them at the door, it's 15.
Makes
So
sense.
we want to make sure everybody knows about it. Everybody commits to it.
Pre-sale.
You're gonna save some money
Yeah.
by buying your tickets ahead of time. on
They've
that.
opened
So,
Main Street Live for us the last 2 years. They're incredible.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get to see them in the
They
Park
opened
Theater.
up for
Yeah.
several of our acts at the
Yeah.
Warren County
They play at
A&L
Mud-
Fair.
They play at Mudbones.
Yes.
On the regular, they're a great local band.
yeah, they're
If you've never gotten to experience it, it's definitely a show you don't want to miss.
great dudes, great players, great entertainers, man. It's a show you don't want to miss. So I'm
And
sorry,
shout-
I really wanted to sneak that
No,
one
no,
in
no.
there.
No,
And
you're
shout out,
okay.
and
You're
shout
okay.
out to Timmy's wife, Jane Ann, who has the patience of Job with him.
Yes. Yes.
That's the truth.
Bless,
But
bless
again,
her
thank
heart.
you so much for coming out today.
Thank you
and you
guys for having
definitely need to start coming more.
Yeah, hey,
Absolutely.
when I see you guys
I want to
across the
say
street,
this every time when we're here because I know we're just as busy and we don't think about it, you know?
yeah, but I know I see you guys across the
Yeah.
street, and if I see you alone, I always debate. Should I
Yeah.
hop over there, right?
Uh,
So, but
Yeah, I'll let
I'm
you
gonna
know
do. I'm
next
gonna do
week.
better about just hopping in there.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Stopping in and seeing
Appreciate
us.
We're
you
not
guys.
worthy.
Hey, want me to just
Yeah,
scoot
just
out this
step
way?
out.
Exit stage left.
While we got the
Yeah,
time.
while we're
Yeah, stage
waiting,
right.
right now, currently
you're right,
in
stage
downtown
left.
McMinnville, we are at
That's it.
52 degrees. It is going to be at the high of, I'm just going to snag it from you, high of 58 today and low of 36, 80% chance of rain. And then Friday, again, another 80% chance of rain, high 59 and low 44. And then cloudy, 56 degrees high on Saturday, low 41. and then sunny skies on that from Sunday to Monday, and then also on Tuesday highs in the 60s.
I mean, look at this weather being all springy and cute. Like it didn't just try to kill us a couple of weeks ago.
I know. I call this
What is
warm.
going on?
I call this warm winter because we
It's
are in
Tennessee
winter
weather.
season, right?
Well, ladies, let me tell you something that's nice today. And thank you, Tops Metro Deli. We're normally
Yes.
in there, but today we're here at our great Black History Museum. But today is National Croissant Day.
I had a croissant from breakfast.
Shout out to Depot Bottom.
That
Yes.
was okay. Look, I'm going to
We
tell y'all,
had-
I'm a bit of a croissant snob.
She
Um,
is.
And
Really
I will
is.
tell you that croissant at Depot Bottom was absolutely the best croissant. It was
Yes.
exactly what a croissant should be. It was warm and it was flaky and crispy, and she smeared that thing with butter. And, it was
I
it was a
know.
whole experience.
Shout out to Suzanne and them and the phenomenal job keeping, I think, a historic part of
Yes.
Warren County.
They do a
Depot
great
Bottom.
job there.
I
That
mean-
Rocky Top salad is my go-to for lunch.
Oh,
It's
yes.
awesome.
Well, listen, I'd love to do a pop in there just,
Oh, yeah.
just for
Yes,
the
that would be
food.
so much fun.
But they have a great group of clientele that meet there.
Oh,
they
in the morning.
do.
Shout
We
out.
went there.
All of the older
our
gentlemen
friends.
who know things.
Oh, me and Melanie were just sitting in the table for two, and I could hear politics on one end,
Yes.
and
The guys behind us are
federal
talking about the press
government. Let me say
secretary.
this better. Federal government was in the back, and in the front was local. And I
Yes.
was like, Melanie, do you hear what's going
Yeah.
on?
Oh, the guys behind me were talking about our new press secretary, who is just doing a
Yes.
phenomenal job. No notebook, off the
Yeah.
cuff,
Yes.
no nonsense. She's doing a great job, and I'm just very impressed.
And I
with her.
want to tell everybody, knowing like now that this is like the first, would this be the first full week of the with the president of the transferring and stuff?
Well, yeah, this is the first
This
full
full
week,
week.
and a
He's-
lot has
He
gone on.
has
this
done
week.
a lot. Now, one thing
Yes.
that we do just need to touch up on, and we have been, goodness gracious,
been
I don't
watching.
like not having a table to cover up all of my sins.
It's okay.
Anyway, we're trying to keep up to date on the page. We
Yes.
now have the audio and we now have the visual, but there was a horrible accident that happened last night.
Yes.
There was an airliner
Kansas
that
City,
was
Kansas?
Wichita. Was
Wichita,
leaving
Kansas?
Wichita, had figure skaters, their coaches on board, and we're not sure who else. It was 64 people, and they somehow collided with a Black Hawk helicopter that had 3 on board. There's definitely more questions than answers at this point,
which is understandable.
but they have moved from recovery or from rescue
Rescue
to
to
recovery.
recovery.
It is not expected that anybody survived that
And
crash.
the last we heard when we got out of the car, there was 27 bodies pulled out.
22.
No, 27.
27. So,
so
and
it's
they
just
did
so
find
sad.
the fuselage inverted and in 3 pieces. I was talking to a good friend of mine who is
Actually,
former
worked on those.
was former military and also worked in a Black Hawk helicopter unit when he first started his deployment. And he said the only thing he can figure that would happen is that the blades of the helicopter chopped
Got
it in
it.
half, but he said it's like a 1 in a million chance. So I'm not sure. Like I said, there's more questions than answers. He did say also though that it is very strange that it was only one Black Hawk helicopter because they normally
Go in pairs.
do fly in pairs,
Yeah.
and there's normally 4 on board, and there was only 3 on board. So, like I said, there's a lot more questions than there are answers at this point. We are going to give you guys
as much detail as we
yes,
can when
but-
we hear about it.
I guess it's horrible to say this. Not really grateful. I guess the one good thing that came out of this is that they did crash into the Potomac
Yeah.
instead of onto
So they
land,
can find
because
them.
this was in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
and that's a highly populated area, and it could have been so much
Could have
worse
hurt other people
if
I
they
mean,
had hit the land.
There's
But they
always
were right.
pros or cons.
Yes,
for
they
sure.
they were right there by the airport. But no matter what, there are 64 families that no longer have a loved one with them,
Yeah.
and then the four or the 3
Military.
pilot,
Yeah.
the 3 people in the helicopter, and our thoughts and our prayers do go out to them. And as we find out more, we will let you know. But that is all we know at this time.
At this time.
But I will share the audio and the. I guess I'll share the visual too.
Yeah, just put it on. It's gonna be on all our socials. You
Yes.
can check it out.
So
Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter now.
But that is the latest breaking
Yeah.
thing. Oh, that and the other bad thing that is happening that we just found out during breakfast is, as you all know, in North Carolina, They are still
Yes,
suffering
very
from the
tough.
effects of Hurricane Helene. And now in one of those towns that was ravaged, they now have an out of control wildfire
fire
burning
going
through the
on.
region. So please continue to keep those people in your prayers. They've already lost so much, and it looks like here we go again for
Here we
round
go
2.
again. And it does, like I always say, it gets worse before it can get better, and they're trying their best. And shout out to Randy England and everybody that has come together and has got food for them, supplies. I think they're still taking and I apologize because I'm nasally today. Empty gas or propane tanks.
Yes.
Propane tanks. And if you have not delivered them yet, you can drop your propane tank off at Redmond's flooring over there. That's where we dropped ours off. Any bit can help in this situation.
Yes.
And one thing that Randy was telling us at TCAT was that how Warren County, the McMinnville area, has really stepped up and stepped out and has helped
it's
these
incredible.
people out a lot. And so I say to Warren County, this is why people come to live here. This is because, when somebody is in need, we come together.
Well, and I will also say shout out to our president and vice president who, within 4 days of him taking office,
that's right.
were there. They've started getting these people into furnished apartments. They started getting them off the streets and getting them someplace safe and where they need
as
to be.
well as helping out the folks in California with the fires.
Yes,
as well.
they have. Yes, they
I
have.
want to make that clear because a lot of people, when he went there, they're like, "What about us?" And I mean, he went out there and
he
helped
went
out.
out
with
there
us.
and-
Which
He's
You
doing
know, he
everything
did-
he can.
he did the same thing when Cookeville happened. When the
That's
tornado
right.
went through Cookeville, he was right.
Yeah,
I mean, he
didn't
didn't
get
go to
publicized
Nashville. He
that
didn't go
much.
to the biggest city. He went to the place with the most damage. And one thing, and I'm going to mispronounce the name, but it's Swannanoa, North Carolina. He not only went there, but he brought these people up and had them tell their stories on air and
As
to
he
tell which insurance companies they were with that had let them down, and most of them were with Farm Bureau, and I found that very interesting.
Wow.
Not saying Farm Bureau is all the way bad, but it seems to be the one that most people in that area had gone with. But I'm just glad progress is finally being made because I've talked about this numerous times. I feel personally connected. That's my original home state, and I love the Asheville area.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that we're making progress.
So one more thing, and then I'll let Brian go. I want to say thanks again to some folks that reached out to Warren First 931 and tagged us in some post that's been happening over the past few days. I do want everybody to know, because Melody actually sent it too. Did you put that in the group one? I think I want
Which
to make
one,
sure
that?
I say it right. This one. Yeah. So I want to say thanks to this listener that tagged us, but I just want everybody to know we're looking into this, as everybody I know that's looking into this, but it says, fellow Warren Countyans, are you informed that a new community is being established near an existing Highway 8 community, bringing in 25,000 new community members, which comprises over half of our current county populations. Now, I'm just going to say that one part, but it has been brought to our concerns. It's also been brought to a lot of our county officials and all the commissioners and the aldermans. If you are out there and you've read this and you're like, what can we do? How can we fix this? My thing to you guys is you've got to call your county commissioners. You got to call your aldermans. That's what they're in the seat for. Let them know your concerns. The only thing that I know about this situation is, and I can't remember what the and Brian may or Melody may know, there is a law, like a religious or a religion or a religious law that protects them under this umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, and if I am wrong with what I'm about to say, when I was researching this yesterday, they have not, to my knowledge, have contributed anything to our community or our county. To my knowledge.
Yes, because they are tax exempt organization because it's a religious organization, and religious entities do not have to pay taxes. So we've got 25,000 new people coming in because they are considered part of this religious organization.
Yes.
They will not have to pay taxes into the community. However, we cannot confirm that they are part of this religious organization. We are still trying to figure all of this out.
Yeah. I do know that the construction company that's building these houses is with the religious group.
Okay.
That's their company that's building these.
So it sounds
Well,
like
so
they
the
keep
next-
everything internal.
Yeah,
so
Yes.
everything's always been internal
people
out there.
in Warren County don't profit from any of this.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
yeah, we'll look more into it.
Yeah, and I
This
want
is
everybody to know that, you know.
Well, and the unique thing is, this is not the first time this has ever happened. This has happened in other cities across the United States
Yeah.
where groups like this start developing
Yeah.
and have a following, and then keep everything internally.
Yeah.
It's happened in Iowa. It's happened in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
It's happened
Yep.
Across the United States. So we're going to keep our eyes. And
Well,
ears
and you know, in my opinion, a church should not require you to pay to become a part of the church. At that point, to me, that defeats the purpose. Yes, you tithe when you are part of a church. You
Yeah.
tithe, you know, if you are able to.
Yeah.
But for it to be a requirement, you can't join such and such church until you pay such and such money. That to me should take them away from being able to
And
claim
that might-
themselves as a
yeah.
religious
And that might be their way of tithing. Let me
Yeah,
say that because I don't know all the logistics on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just know that it started as a religious thing.
Maybe
and-
we need to have somebody from
Yeah,
that
if
organization.
somebody
I would
wants
love for that to
sometimes.
happen because I know that there's.
just to
see,
clarify, because my
Right.
thing is, I don't know if they're doing anything good or bad. I don't
Right.
know.
Might be
because
the
it's
best thing for Warren County ever.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
do know that you
though.
can. You used to be able to go and tour. I've
You
toured the
still
facilities.
Can. You still can.
But
My cousins
I
went
mean,
and toured. You
I-
still can.
I know that. Well, I have
They
not
used
gone
to
since.
do a World Peace Day out there as well. And
I've
I
not
don't know
gone
if
since
they've
they
done
put
a
up the
new one
gate.
since then.
Because you used to be able to just drive in there. Now they've got a gate. But I mean, I know that a lot of Warren. This is how things get started. There's the fear of the unknown. When you don't understand
Yeah,
something,
that's a
when
good
you
way of
don't
saying
know
it.
how things
Yeah.
go, you become very nervous. You become fearful,
Yeah.
and then that just starts spinning out of control. So I think it would be good if we could possibly get somebody from the organization to come answer questions, maybe quiet some concerns, and ease people's minds
Yeah.
as to what's going on.
And this is not just in, I wanted to say this too. This is not just people that live in Warren County. Because their land goes all the way to Van Buren County.
Yes.
So it's connected. So, and I've heard, we've had not only Warren County people call me, I've also had some Van Buren friends of mine call me. And they're just concerned because it's so tight knit, and it's like you said, the unknown. And so I think if
It seems very secretive, which it might not be
Yeah.
secretive, but it
it
does
may
seem
not.
it seems very
Yeah.
secretive and very inclusive, and that can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But I've always
Okay.
found that when you don't know how something is, or you don't understand how things work, go and ask questions and find out.
Always.
And the reality of the situation is Warren County holds about 40,000 people.
That's correct.
20,000 in the city, 20,000 in the county. And these are rough estimates. But when you get a population of 25,000,
That doesn't even
plus,
include. Yeah.
that's not included necessarily in that,
Mhm.
then that changes the way things are voted on. It will
Yeah.
realign districts. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things that will
If they vote.
that
I don't even know if they
Oh,
vote.
they vote.
Oh.
And the reason I know that is because the Shells Ford pollings or election stations
That's right.
is in that district. And so that's where
Okay.
people who live at Isha have to
Wow.
vote. And it just so happens I was
That's your
there.
area.
I
Okay.
worked that
I early
station
voted,
this,
so you
this
didn't
year.
see
So
me.
I know I didn't see it.
Sorry.
But guys, aside from that, we're going to stay with it. We're going to find out
Yeah.
what it is. It'd be nice to have some of the commissioners come on, especially in that area,
yeah.
to find out what
Get
we
to
need
the
to look
bottom
forward
of
to.
it, you know?
And somebody from Isha.
Would
If-
love to come.
on
Yes,
down.
please.
Now, before we get Mr. Wayne on here,
Yes. You wanna
let's
grab
go
one?
send some love.
Yeah, while we're doing
Thank you,
shout
Mr.
out.
Tom Davis, for sending us some love this morning. Good morning.
Oh,
Good
look.
morning, Deborah Joe. Thank you so much, Miss Retha. Good morning.
Yes, love
And,
Miss Retha.
Connie Judkins, thank you so much for tagging several people. We're going to send some love to Bobby Judkins, Ann Rigsby Hawkins,
Yes.
Stephanie Smith, Bobby
Shout
Joe
out.
Person, and Julie Rigsby Kirksey,
Kurtzky.
and Kirksey, yeah.
Okay.
And then Shauna Caldwell, she wrote Depot Bottom is the best, and
It
she
is.
is right. Depot Bottom is great.
Yeah. And you can actually start getting our newsletters now at Depot Bottom. We actually had a caller this morning, and I do apologize. I don't remember your name. but said thank you so much for doing a newsletter like this because it's just phenomenal. Yes, who's coming in first?
I tell you what, if you want to get them both on, I don't mind sliding out.
Okay,
I'm good.
Yep. You want to switch? All right. Switcheroo who?
Musical chairs. Thank y'all for having us over here this morning.
I'm very excited.
Come on in, Miss Rebecca.
No.
All right. So we are here, like we said, live at the Warren County Black History Museum here in downtown McMinnville. And with us, we have two special guests that run the tight ship here. We got Miss Rebecca and Mr. Wayne Wolford, aka my substitute teacher back in the day. But good morning, guys.
But speaking about that,
Yes.
Mr. Wayne, a lot of people may not realize, is the one who started the Black History Club at the high school, which is now the Multicultural Club. No, okay.
Jeff Martin did.
Jeff Martin,
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
then a year later, when I retired, then I joined him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, a lot
I'm
of people
sorry.
get
See,
that
I got it
kinda-
wrong.
Yeah.
He's getting
So
clarified.
Get
Jeff
his
Martin,
props.
that's all right. That's
Yeah.
what we're getting
Mr.
clarified.
But it's
Martin.
called the Multicultural Club,
Club now, right?
I
Yes.
think so, yeah.
But it
Uh-huh.
started as the
Shout out to
The Black History
Catherine
Club.
and
Black History
Leah
Club.
and all them keeping it going. And
it
all that
is
stuff.
quite a large number of students.
It
now.
is. I
It
did
is
an
very
interview with them
impressive.
last year during this time.
Yeah.
But with that said, we have toured this amazing facility. If you have not come here, you have got to check it out. Just the history of McMinnville alone. This is, talk about it. Like how this got started, why it got started. Who wants to start?
Wayne.
Well,
Rebecca's like, I'm out. Have it out.
I know all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it came to a point to where, I was retired from military. And when you're retired, you get kind of relaxed and you want to just chill,
Yeah.
And so I was laying in bed and, these premonitions, these voices come to you and say, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Right.
Some we just wave off others, we kind of listen to a little bit.
Mhm.
And this one particular one came through and said, Wayne, I know you're retired, but got one more thing for you to do. I looked up. I said, what's that? And that voice said, you're going to start a Black History Museum. I said, a what? You're going to start a Black History Museum.
Yeah.
I thought about it. And I got up early that morning, took my shower and everything, put my clothes on, got my checkbook. Let me find me an accountant. So I went, got an accountant. And I got 501c3, charter, chapter, tax exempt, all that out of my pocket.
Okay.
Not knowing what's going to happen from here,
Yeah.
And so not too long after that, I started telling people about it, and I had fooled around and got $8,000 within about a 2-week period.
Wow.
No building, no anything.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden we got lucky and got this building here, this suite, and on Main Street. And I thought that was pretty neat. And next thing I know, okay, how am I going to fill this thing up? Now I have some storage at home that I thought I was really going to be able to pack in here.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. People have really been nice getting stuff to me. And so to make a long story short, my daughter had talked to somebody and they had some jewelry cases. And I said, yeah, that would work. And so it was supposed to have been 20 jewelry cases and they were supposed to have been $50 a piece. I said, okay, we had the money for that. So we
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. But by the time they got here, they had 26 cases. And most of these are jewelry cases, but there are 2 7-foot cases that have lights and everything on them.
Yeah.
And so they stuck that in there. So it was 26 cases altogether. Everything included, paying for them, getting them here and everything, $1,900. I looked up, I said, wow. Yeah. So,
God will put you where you need to be when you need to be there.
Yes.
and
Yes.
so it's taken off from there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the room we're in specifically, because I'm assuming like each room I can see somebody from McMinnville I know.
Mhm.
You know, talk about it.
Well, I started out with the back room back there because I'm retired military. And
Yeah.
I said, well, if there's going to be a subject that I'm going to pick on, that would be the one to pick on.
Yeah.
And so when I was in the military, I started out with radar, working on radars. And then it got to the point to where we were working on the programs, and I started writing the program and start teaching the program. And that's from tubes into digital.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also taught liaison people from, liaisons from other countries. And then I was teaching instructors. So I had that capability. And so when you said about substitute teaching, I wanted to come here and start a basic training, not basic training, basic electronics. But I had the lesson plans, but I didn't have the equipment. And so I couldn't start at that particular time. So I said, I'll just take a break for a year and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, and I went and got my barber's license back because I used to do froze back in the day.
Well, there you go.
And then when I did that, I said, let me try something. Let me try substitute teaching and see how the system is. So that was a good idea to go through all the systems here because we had a couple of blacks in Head Start, but we only had one black principal here, and that was Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in the classroom.
No.
So the kids couldn't see anybody my flavor in
Yeah.
the classroom.
Yeah.
And so by teaching in the military, I knew what discipline was. I knew what respect
Yes, you
was.
did.
And I know what character is.
Mhm.
And so my character spoke for itself. And what I wanted to do was let McMinnville know this is the way it is now. This is who you're looking at. So when you leave McMinnville, you have a pretty good idea of what it's like out there.
Mhm.
So
I agree with that because he always made it so fun. And when he came in the room, his presence commanded, like you had fun with him, but you didn't want to you didn't want to make him mad. Can I say that?
intimidated,
Yeah.
not mad.
I think his daughter would agree with that statement. Which I will say, your daughter is incredible.
Thank
She
you.
is the
She
sweetest
is.
soul, and she's so smart, and she's just an incredible human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so talk about the rooms, like each room. I mean, I see a school setting room that's across from us,
Which is my favorite.
and then talk about this room. What is special about this room?
Well, you hit on that. And
Okay.
I'll hit on some others.
This room right here is to commemorate all the people in McMinnville,
Okay.
our families, our uncles, cousins, and I'm not done with it. I got about like 9 million more pictures to put in
Oh,
here.
gosh.
But we try to represent the families,
Yeah.
represent some organizations. We have the Sudbury Hotel and the people that work there and all of that. And it's just to, if someone comes in, like you said,
Yeah.
anybody that comes in, just about, doesn't matter who they are, they see somebody they
Yeah.
know. They see a teacher or a friend or somebody's mother
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's just it's home.
Yeah.
It's
I just
She
feel
just
welcome
battles
here.
up there.
yeah,
which was called Turkey.
yeah.
That's
Turkey.
why people know
And of
him.
course, I know Odasha because,
Yeah.
I had her in Cubbies when she was like 3 and 4 years old.
Okay.
I mean, it's just so great. And are y'all still accepting donations from
Yes.
families throughout?
When you say donations, you're talking
Pictures,
funds, items,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
most definitely.
Mhm.
Is there anything that y'all are missing that you've been trying to look for?
I want to do more research myself on the way things were when the earlier times started McMinnville, for as what the population was, for as blacks, for as whites, what the jobs were. Plantations, we didn't have basically what they call plantations like they did
Mhm.
in Georgia and places like that, because the main thing here, which we are the nursery capital of the world, were the apple trees and the peach trees, apple cider and stuff.
That's right.
And that kicked off more than anything. And I'd like to have more information on that,
Yeah, I've heard we were helping make apple bourbon at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Bootleg
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
king.
yeah.
It was king.
And then, I was talking with, you might want to go over and talk with CK and Dan because
Okay.
their new place they got at Pure
The
Will.
Magnus.
They
yeah.
were talking about the house that we're in. That's where the workers would go.
Oh, okay.
And that
okay.
because they had the rooms were broke down.
Uh-huh.
She goes in. It's really neat, the history of Warren County, guys. Just
Mhm.
it blows my mind. But they were there were columns here, and they go because each of these were a room, and then the main guy, that managed all them, lived in the bigger. Right here,
Okay,
it was. You
okay.
need to go and holler at him because
Okay,
there's
I'll
so
do
much
that.
history.
Mhm.
Okay.
But the schoolroom's phenomenal.
It's
Mhm.
it changes all the time. So I remember the first meeting you guys had at the library to talk about this, to try to raise money. And I'm like, I'm in. Yes,
Yeah.
this is great. This is what we need.
Mhm.
But I've come up here multiple times, and as you've developed this place, and every time I come in here, there's new stuff, and I'm like, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
But it's incredible. So if you've already been here and you're, oh, I've already seen that. No, you haven't. Come on back up
Yeah.
because it's great. And now there's an upstairs that you're starting to work on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got a music room. A gorgeous picture of Jasmine Dillon up there.
Beautiful. She's
Um,
phenomenal.
And you just keep expanding and growing as more people, are willing to, and you don't have to give it up. They can loan it, right? You
Oh,
can
yes.
just loan
Yes.
it and get it back,
Right.
just as a temporary thing
Right.
Mhm.
or whatever. They're happy to take a donation in whatever way they can get it.
Yeah.
And it's always, we always invite people to come. We have a number there. You can basically reach me. We have a museum number too, but you can reach me at area code 931-212-6609. And even though we don't have a lot of hours set up to where we come in, but it doesn't take me but 10 minutes to get here. And so if you come ring the doorbell or give me a call, I can be here. Because if you're from out of town or whatever, you might want something to do that day.
Right.
So, I can come and Miss Rebecca will give you a tour. So there's no problem at all. We do want people to come in and be educated.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not just
100%.
seeing what's what, but the
And Wayne's
education on the way things were
Yes.
and then the way things have changed. And myself, when I'm doing different descriptions, sometimes I have to use the white, sometimes I have to use black.
Right.
But my main thing is flavor. So
Right,
you
I like
come
that.
in, I have a bunch of kids come in, they look around. I say, you all different flavors. They look around at one another and
I
laugh.
love
So,
that, though.
this is the thing, we're trying to do teaching here more than anything.
Educate.
And
Yeah.
when the time comes, when we get the money, not if we get the money, but we have some land over by Ramsey Park and we want to put a cultural center. This way we're opening up the door to all cultures.
Yes.
So
All
this
flavors.
is all flavors.
All
all flavors. So this
It's
is
the new
one of the
Baskin
main,
Robbins, but for people.
but this is what we're really pushing for right now. We, like you said, we want to make our changes here. We want to keep some of it simple because, like you say, the Brown Hotel and Sidbury, those were monumental places around here, and you had people coming in from all over. This used to be a jumping town.
It did.
Yeah.
The amount of celebrities. Now, is there an admission fee to come into the museum?
You walk in, we give you a tour, we talk, we have fun. You share your ideas with us. We share your ideas with you. We share ideas with you, and we have a box there where you can conveniently put in a donation,
So
or if you want
donation-
to, write a check.
Donations
Yeah,
are appreciated, but there's also a gift shop now. So you've got mugs.
Yes,
Mr. Wolford here is an author, one of our local authors. His
Yes.
book is incredible. Mr. Gwynn, who was not able to be with us, he's also a local author. You can get those books here, correct?
Right.
But there's coffee mugs,
T-shirts.
T-shirts, saw some sunglasses up there. So there's things you can buy. But are you still doing the brick program? I know
Yes.
you were doing that. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that.
Okay, the brick program we have over at Ramsey Park, and this is a fundraiser too. So if you want to do something like put your name on it, your company's name, somebody that in your family that you thought very highly of, or somebody in the community that you thought highly of, they're $50 bricks and they're $100 bricks, and we get those and we print them up and we place them over at Ramsey Park. So we have places for them, and again, that's a fundraiser for us.
Yeah. And
Very similar to the bricks that they have on downtown
All over
sidewalks,
town,
yeah.
but over at Ramsey Park.
and
Okay.
And another big thing I don't want to forget to mention is what's happening at the Magnus Library this Saturday, because of course
Yes.
February 1st starts Black History Month for the whole month of February. But you guys have events going on like throughout the whole month of February,
All
correct?
except one Saturday.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Right.
forgot to bring my calendar with me
Okay.
that I got at the Unity Walk. They did all that stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
But this Saturday, talk about what's happening at the Magnus Library.
Well, my director, Mickey Gwynn, is really working well with the community, and
Yeah.
he's really come up with some great ideas. I actually had to turn this over because of all the emails, the bills, and all this other stuff. I just wanted to get this thing going and be the curator. So
Yeah,
I'm the founder curator, but I needed somebody to take over all the duties, and
Yeah.
Mickey's done a fantastic job.
Mhm.
And what he did, he set up something with Brad over at the library, and there is going to be a Rosenwald display exhibit. A lot of people are not familiar with Rosenwald. One of the key things about him, he was the president of Sears and Roebuck back in the 20s. And in the 20s, can you imagine a person having $50 million?
No.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
And what he did, even though he was Jewish and he was friends with Booker T. Washington, but they produced 5,000 schools and buildings for Black teachers and students throughout, I think they said 15 states now. I thought it was only 7. 15 and 300 and I think 330, 340 were here in Tennessee.
That's
And we
great.
actually had a Rosenwald school here.
Did where?
We had
It's
Bernard,
called Bernard,
Oh, Bernard. Okay.
Okay.
the original Bernard.
the original
Oh,
Bernard.
original. Okay.
Because the one that you all have seen pictures of is the one that was replaced after a fire.
Okay.
And some of us had attended that one,
Yeah, my mother
Oh,
mother
wow.
attended.
and I attended it
Yeah.
because my folks would let me, living in St. Louis, my mother would let me come here and stay every other year. So my background here is a little different than a lot of people that have been born and raised here.
Yeah.
Because when I came here, I was born in 58. And so when I first got here, I got here in 56. And when you're a young kid, 11, 12, 13 years old in St. Louis, I could get on the bus, sit anywhere we wanted to, my
Right.
friends, ride downtown at 2 stores like Macy's. We go in, you know, you have the grills there where you can get hamburgers, French fries, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Sit there and have a good time. You want to go to the movie, there was an all black movie, the theater to go to. You turn the radio on, you hear the Four Tops, Temptations, Supremes, you know, all day long,
Yeah,
you
good
know.
stuff.
Then all of a sudden, my mother would let me come here every other year,
Yeah.
not summertime, every other year.
Yeah.
So I had to go to school here. And then
Culture
I look
shock.
and I'd see,
Yeah, culture shock.
and I see signs saying where I couldn't drink this water. I couldn't go in this bathroom. I couldn't go in the front of this building.
Yeah, go to the back and get your
And
food.
wow, that was,
Had to go through the door at the Park Theater to watch upstairs. Was
Yeah,
that
had to go
right?
upstairs.
But
Yeah.
those are the good seats.
I
Yeah, they
know.
were.
I know. I'm like,
And that
I
was
said
all
the
over
other
the
day.
country. That's what's so weird
Yes.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and in churches and in courthouses, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I'd rather be up there.
Here,
Can
yeah.
I go up
Best
there?
seats.
but
Yeah.
what was so weird about it was I had to learn how to walk that walk and talk that talk here
Yeah.
because I had so much freedom where I was, and I come here and everything was
Different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why when people come here and I get to talk to them and share experiences with them,
Yeah.
whether they've had the same experiences or not, it's a learning experience, you know. And I tell them, you know, wow, I've come a long way. I've seen a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So, wow, it's been a good ride. It's been a good ride.
Well, you know, and Wayne, I talked to you about this. I called him as soon as I left the place. And I mean, I cried through the whole thing. But in Clinton, Tennessee, which is not too far down the road, it's right outside of Knoxville, there is the McAdoo Cultural Center, which was the McAdoo School, which was the first segregated school in Tennessee. It was the first
Segregated, integrated.
integrated.
Anyway,
Sorry,
okay.
I used my wrong word, y'all. But they were the first ones, and that cultural center lets you know what those people had to deal with. All of the hatred, the using the Bible to justify this. I mean, it was
Separate?
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
was horrible. Jesus
Okay.
doesn't want blacks in our schools.
Mhm.
Says who? What Jesus are you talking to? I mean, it was wild. And then at the end, it shows the profile of each of these kids and what they're doing now. And I actually
Yeah, a
bought a
lot of
book where this woman actually turned her experiences and wrote poetry about it. I think everybody should go. As I said, it's not that far. It's a great time. Anytime's a good time to go. But it's McAdoo. It's MCADOO. At least look it up. It is a moving experience. But I called Wayne. I'm like, you're not going to believe what I just saw. I was like, oh my gosh. I was just so shook. And they have it set up like a school. You sit in old school desks and watch on the blackboard this whole thing about it. It is so well done and so well put together.
Wow.
And it was incredible. But it's that culture shock. You know, you just don't. Why do they have to fight so hard just to get an education?
Right.
I mean, my gosh. And the thing is
Luckily,
that
we
they
don't
were
have to
talking
fight
about
now.
Yeah.
is the town didn't have an
Right,
issue with
yeah.
it. All of
No.
the anger and animosity
Yeah.
came after the media came
Mhm.
and made such a big deal. And all these people from out of town came,
Yeah.
and they're the ones who made such a big deal about it. But the town itself was okay
Yeah.
with it. But anyway, it was a really, really great
And
experience.
I feel like that's
but-
why I like Warren County so much, is because I do feel like we have a lot of flavor. You know, there's so many different cultures here
Yes.
now. And I know everybody could say the joking thing is, why do we need another Mexican restaurant? Or why do we need
Yeah.
another, you know?
Yeah.
But they all, but there's so many
everybody
different
here-
cultures within the
yes.
Hispanic culture.
And that's why I love being here, because everybody accepts everybody as just a human being
Yeah.
trying to live the best life that they can
Mhm.
live. And you know, when I do go to other towns or other places still to this day, it's not the same.
Mhm.
It's not the same. And you know, my heart goes out to everybody that has that struggle. But it's like you say, by having like a multicultural center and having a Black History Museum,
You get
we as
educated.
parents, we need to educate our
Mhm.
kids.
Mhm.
No matter
because
what their flavor, they
Mhm.
need to
Yeah.
understand.
we have to educate them to let them know there's, you know, it's not just this. There's
Right.
several others.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's why I say I love McMinnville, because Walker's like, well, what is he? And what, you know, all this
Mhm.
stuff. And, you know, and for my son, because honestly, I'm just going to say it. Mr. Warford was my first Black teacher.
Right.
And then in 4th and 5th grade, we only had two Black kids in our school.
Mhm.
And now, you know, my son's kindergarten teacher, I love Miss Quick. She is amazing. Her accent, I think she's from Nigeria or somewhere,
Okay.
but they absolutely love her. And he came up to me, he's like, Mama, I have a brown teacher, and she's awesome, you know? And I
Well, and
was,
we have a South African living here. I can't remember his name. He works for one of the banks, but I
Yeah.
love talking to him because he's got
Peter.
the greatest. Peter.
Peter.
Thank you.
I know who you're talking about.
He has,
I
and
had
it's
a
not
long
spelled
talk
our
with Peter when I first met him. I'm like, what? You're what?
Yeah, oh, his
I'm like,
accent's
but
incredible.
hey.
I'm like, just sit here and talk to me all
Like,
day long.
I go
Just
like,
whatever.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah,
But no, he's a great guy too. I mean, we're
it's. I don't think people realize that even though we're a small town, so many kids, people are from so many different
Yes.
countries and so many different flavors,
Mhm.
and it's
I like
great,
that.
and
it's just so nice.
it's I
Rolls
do.
off the
I love
tongue.
it.
Okay.
And it's so important to learn about all of
Yes.
that, to learn about other
All the
people's
different
cultures.
cultures.
Expand your mind. It goes back to what we were talking about. A lot of the times, the fear and the hatred and the ugliness comes from unknown
Don't
and
know.
not understanding.
the
And
unknown.
if you ask questions
100%.
and listen to learn, not to respond,
Mhm.
you will learn so much, and
Yeah.
that fear will go away.
Instead of
because you
going
will
down the
understand.
rabbit hole that everybody goes down, it's a vicious cycle.
It is.
But again, I encourage everybody, whether I encourage everybody during the month of February, find an event to come out, whether it's here at the Black History Museum or the two big events. And I should have brought the paper, but I accidentally left it at home.
Speaking of events, we have heard that you guys have got the local jazz band coming to play for you guys.
Yes.
When?
Remember they came and played for us, and they said they were going to
that's
be here
right.
the weekend of my
They're
birthday. I think the
phenomenal.
23rd.
Yes.
Yes.
That weekend. That
22nd,
Saturday.
21st.
Uh-huh.
Yes, which are phenomenal, but they're going to be doing all the old great music.
Yeah, they brag
Good
on it.
stuff.
Mhm.
I told
Yeah.
those kids, by the way, and this is another thing what I think is so great about Warren County. These, the jazz band, they're listening to all different types of music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, just play something off the cuff. And they're
Yeah.
like, follow my lead.
I mean,
and the
Louis
drummer,
Armstrong,
yes.
phenomenal. Billie Holiday, Etta James.
Oh,
I mean, we
yeah.
had some great music
At
back in the
last.
day. I could sit there and listen to that music all day long. Instrumental, musical, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's great. One of my other favorite movies is Cadillac Records, which tells the story of Etta James and the
Yeah.
Wolfman and Chuck Berry.
Right.
And he
Really?
had some really weird songs. Let me just tell you. I remember the first time my son listened to my ding-a-ling. He's like, wait a minute.
My son
Which is a great
absolutely
song.
loves that song.
I did too, but
My
I wonder
husband
why.
hated me.
I think it's a boy song.
I played it for him. Now listen, this is how I educate my
The Duck
kids.
Walk. It was
You educate
iconic.
them early.
Yeah.
He was 4 years old, and I was like, "Oh my God, my son would love this." And so, let's just say, after bath time, it was very interesting. Okay,
Well,
And he
we were
sings
on
it
the
still
way.
today.
I'm playing this music like it's like I'm not even thinking about it. Matt must have been about 8 or 9 years old,
yeah.
and we're on our way to the fair. And I remember this because we stopped at a light, and he goes, "Mom, I got a question." I said, "What?" He goes, "Is he singing about his?" And I'm like, "He is.
Yeah.
He is." He goes, "Why? Why?" I guess he really likes it.
I wish I could ask him, be like, is this just a parody goof song?
I
that
think
you're
it was
like-
drugs. I think it was
Oh,
drugs. No, but I mean, he made the duck walk famous. Mondays would not allow me to do that.
Yeah.
Not on a good day.
Oh my god.
But I mean, all of those greats. I
Yeah.
mean, they were phenomenal. You've
Yeah.
got some great albums out here. We're talking about Isaac Hayes. Oh, that man's
And
voice.
these stories you're talking about, the school I went to in St. Louis was called Soda High School. And right across the street, it was a gated area there. Chuck Berry lived there.
See,
See?
I love that kind of stuff.
And then Chuck Berry came here and performed at the fair
One of the
year.
fairs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Really?
I got up front row and I was twisting the night away.
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
A lot of people don't know that Little Richard is from this area.
Oh,
Yeah,
is he?
yeah.
That's another
I
fun
did
one. is
not
Little
know
Richard.
that.
Where?
What's the name of the Jack Daniels? That area?
Lynchburg.
Lynchburg. Yeah, he's from Lynchburg.
Really?
Lynchburg.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
He
go
passed
Little
away.
Richard.
Now.
Well, he passed away,
Tourist
what,
from Tennessee, too.
last
Oh,
year?
is she?
Last year, I
Yeah,
think.
that song, Nut Bush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nut Bush did. Yeah.
Oh, I had a,
So many
I get to
people
tell you,
from
I had a
Tennessee.
chance
I know.
to play with her.
You did?
Yep.
Did you do it?
Almost.
Almost.
Why did you not do this?
I
Right. There
lived in St. Louis.
So
Missouri,
you came
and
here
went
every
across
other year.
went across the
No, this was in
river
St. Louis.
with my
2020.
friends,
Uh-huh.
and we went to see Ike and Tina Turner. Okay, and there was a Blue Note Club across the railroad tracks,
Uh-huh.
a little place over there, and we sat there, and it was getting time for them to play, and all of a sudden, Tina said, "Does anybody here play drums?" Phew, I threw my hand up. I've been playing since I was 6. I'm
Oh,
76
Tina
now,
Turner.
and I'm playing with 2 bands now. And so got up there and got everything set up. I said, "Oh man, this is my moment." I'm
Yeah.
in my 20s, so I'm good now, but I was much faster then. So I got ready. We got ready to play, and all of a sudden, guess who walked in the door?
The
before-
drummer.
The drummer.
Could
I
you
looked
just
up-
not have stayed outside for
I
conversation?
looked up. I said, "Oh, why?" So yeah, I never was able to get to be a professional drummer.
So
Hey, no,
here we
no, no, no.
hang on. Back to
You
back
got.
to.
I want to go back
Oh.
on this. Hold on. You got on the stage with her and
Yeah.
held the sticks, right?
Yeah.
It counts.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say
You
Yeah,
raised your
but-
hand. You
yeah,
got
but
on
nobody
the stage
knows-
and you're like,
But nobody knows but me and my buddy, and then the stories that I tell now. That's it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
And
Little
he-
Richard died May 9th, 2020 in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's wild. Of all the places to end up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you
Or
know, a
just
came
lot of
back home.
people
Came
don't
back
realize
home.
how much great music came from
From
Tennessee in
Tennessee.
general. This
Mhm.
is not just, like from all sorts of sides.
Right.
Well, I mean, you got to
Right.
look at Memphis.
Yes.
B.B. King,
Mhm.
Elvis Presley, obviously, but there were so
Originally.
many. Johnny
Blues
Cash
started there.
basically got his start there before he moved on.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many great musics between Nashville and Memphis of people that Dolly Parton. I mean, of course, Sevierville. I mean, we've got so many
Yes.
greats that came out of this state.
Yeah, I am noticing now that more people are accepting music as a whole.
Yes.
Now, when like I said, when I was in St. Louis, I had, I was listening to all black music, soul music at that time. Then when I came here, I was still playing drums. I was reading on books and all this kind of stuff. But I turned the radio on, and guess what was on the radio stations?
Country.
Country music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I learned that.
Yeah.
Until
And so here I am playing with Steve Harvey and Nick Boland and,
I was
And
gonna
and
say,
Joe,
say,
and Joe
phenomenal band,
Collier.
by the way.
You know,
Assisted living band, name
yeah,
drop.
and we're playing out of country music.
Yeah.
And so I didn't need any sheets to read it.
No.
I knew what it was.
Yeah.
So I just fell right in,
Yeah.
So that was the whole circle there. I really like that. And the way people are accepting music now still is a little slow,
It is.
especially as far as churches are concerned. You go into church, you hear certain music.
Oh yeah.
And if
Hey,
you
I'm a
go
little
to
picky about my church music.
Yeah,
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 I know.
'cause-
I just
'cause
put
I
in all
want-
those instruments and
because
stuff.
I want music to move me because
Same.
I play instruments.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I want music to move me, and I want the teacher to teach me. So when I
Mhm.
leave from there, I'm feeling good.
Right.
let me tell you something.
Cup's
Carrie
full.
Underwood's "How Great Thou Art" will bring
Acapella.
me to tears every time. That performance. But country music, Charlie Pride. I mean, look what he did. And now we've got Darius Rucker. I guess we can throw him in there.
Right.
Yes. Son.
One of my good friends, not good friends, I shouldn't say that. One of my drama theater people I did theater with, Connor Clemens, is now trying to break in on the country music scene. And
Okay.
he's phenomenal. And he's a black artist. He
Mhm.
performed at Myrtle Beach for years.
Yeah.
He's got an album out. He's been on the radio a couple of times. He's trying. He's
Yeah.
pushing through. But it's a hard push. It is a hard push.
And there wasn't at the time, because before I left the radio station, we were cleaning up the albums in the back, and you see all these white people in there, and I'm just like, and then when I come across a brown guy, I'm like, whoa, with a cowboy hat, and everybody's like, yeah, there was like maybe 1 or 2 out of every 10 you see.
But
I
Charlie
feel
had
like,
such an incredible
like you said,
voice.
accepting people. There's everybody can sing what they want now, and it's just amazing. And
well, you look at now,
there's so many ways to break in.
We got so many flavors going on.
We do.
Like I said, when I was in the military 20 years, and I come back and I go to Walmart, and there was a time there where you wouldn't see a white woman holding a brown baby.
That's right.
And then if you say something about that baby, no, this is my blood, this is my grandchild. So that way I'm looking at it, they're getting educated about this.
Yeah.
Because even me and with hair products, there's certain products that you put on the hair. When my mother was in the nursing home, they didn't want to put any grease or anything on it. Well, some people have to have grease.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, now she has to wash her hair because she has so much grease in it. But us, we have to have grease in it so we don't get dried out.
Wow.
Those are the kind of things that we learn as far as culture is concerned. And when you have different flavor babies, you're going to have to learn some of the kind of stuff. And then these kids now, they don't know what happened back in the old days. They know who their friend is over here. They don't care what flavor he is or she is. That's their friend.
And
that's how they learn these different cultures. What these kids like, like what people like to eat, what people like to wear, what kind of music they like to hear.
Yes.
Once we get in that situation where we understand what's going on, it's going to be a better place.
It will.
One of my favorite videos to find on TikTok is Black people bringing their white friend home to the barbecue, and they just sitting in that corner, the plate full of food, go. Every time they're like hoarding that plate like they're prison. And I'm like, what am I missing out on? I didn't find me a black barbecue.
The only person in my family that I would ever say brought the flavor would be my grandma. But then you go to everybody else, like whether it was our Chilo and him and his wife, and then go to one of my other friends, and I'm like, oh my God, where have I've been missing? Like in college, I had a black roommate, and we all took turns cooking, but then when it was her turn, no one wanted to cook anymore because she brought all this flavor in there, and she's like, I'm telling you guys, but I will tell you the trick she taught me, which was so hysterical. She said her grandma showed her. She's like, if you don't have time making mashed potatoes, make instant, and she showed me the best instant mashed potato recipe. And I was like, so I have used that recipe to the day I've died. I'm just telling you, it's just you got to start talking. You got to start a conversation.
My friend Damara is supposedly an amazing cook. I've not done that, but we always joke. I'm like, don't you come at me with those greens? He goes, you eating greens? I was like, I'm not eating the greens, Damara.
I'm not a vegetarian.
He goes, you need to. Well,
this one right here can go when it comes to cooking.
Let's see. Maybe we need to all go to Miss Rebecca's house for Easter.
I love to cook, actually.
I do too. It's so therapeutic, and
it is.
So I love it. But I'm not eating no greens.
With that said, anybody that's interested, because we do have to wrap up, we got some other things we got to do today. Do you have a Facebook page, website, like people can follow you somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Black History Museum of Warren County
On Facebook? Okay.
And you can also go to the website.
On the website?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the website, yeah.
The website is bhmwc.org.
Okay.
Simple as that. And we try to keep that up. Let people know, what's going on.
And
now, are you guys going to be open the rest of today? If somebody's watching this podcast, go, I need to get up there. Were you guys going to be here?
We'll be here until 2 p.m. or a little bit later.
Okay.
But if they need, just call that number 931-212-6609, and we can get a tour.
And
for
talking
you, no
about
problem.
Get you a croissant from the Depot Bomb, and then
Yes.
come check out the museum.
If there is a teacher, a school out there, even the Warren County school systems, if y'all want to tour, I think y'all should take the time in February
absolutely
to make the kids come through here and show them, the Black History Museum. My thing is, as a parent, if you don't start them early, they are going to miss so much.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've always tried to teach my son and stuff at the very early age when they were born.
Yeah.
And so if there is not a school yet that has not come through here, for shame on you, start bringing them.
But they
And-
don't just
and-
have to come in February. They can come.
They can come
all year.
anywhere.
anytime,
Exactly. I'm just thinking it
Yeah.
is Black History Month.
It is
You
Black
need to
History
come,
Month.
but anytime throughout the year,
Yeah.
people are always looking to be educated in the school systems. This is a great way to do it. And they'll
And
do
homeschool
tours.
too.
Mhm.
Oh, well, there you
Yeah,
go.
We have a lot of
virtual.
Yeah.
homeschools.
You know, it's like I always say, we're not raising children, we're raising adults.
Adults,
You need to not
100%.
talk to them like they're children. Don't treat them like children. They're a lot smarter
Yeah.
than you think that they are. They need to absorb and learn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kids could
As
be
soon as
better
possible.
lawyers than some today. I
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
to say
Well, we
that.
really appreciate you all guys
Oh,
coming and doing this. This is
Hey!
great. The more advertisement, the more exposure we get.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, more and more people will learn, and
Yeah.
it only takes one to make a difference.
It does. It does. And I
And that
remember
one,
when
I'm hoping comes through that door.
Mhm.
You know,
And Mickey Gwynn was with us last year. He
Okay.
came and I was like, no, I got to go over there and see
Yes.
this. And now that I have time, because it's just so crazy. But again, we might actually come back one day and just videotape
good.
the
All
whole
of it.
room
It's
and like
incredible.
do a good showcase
Well,
Well,
for
you gotta look.
guys.
I mean, K-Ron's come back home. He's now working at Coffee Bank. CJ Taylor's making a difference.
Mhm.
Jasmine's making a huge difference.
Yes.
She was the first African American to perform on that show, correct? In Gatlinburg.
Juneteenth.
Yeah. And then she's up north somewhere. But I mean, we've got Warren Countyans that are making a difference. They're making their mark in history, and I just think that's just
And before
Incredible.
I have mentioned this the other day too, as I'm just now thinking of it, at the Bernard Gym, they also host. And I don't know if they always go to the Bernard Gym. I just saw this posted this past weekend, so it's already done. But there's underdogs fighting odds, and they do like a basketball camp sometimes
Mhm.
at the Bernard Gym. So again, if anybody is ever needing, wanting to help, horn in on those basketball skills, that's another opportunity for you guys to check that out. And there is a Facebook page called Underdogs Fighting the Odds, and you can check all that out and get all those details. I just think it's
and that's
cool.
And
that's
also
another
Juneteenth.
great.
Oh, Juneteenth there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another
Juneteenth,
great
yeah.
building. Young Men United is another group that's making phenomenal strides and steps in the right direction in our community. Maybe we can get somebody to talk to them. I know you guys work closely with them.
Actually, one was in there.
Is
just
she-
a minute.
Oh, is she still there?
Is she still here? Just tell her the whole type. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
but that's another great
But
group.
with that said, this has been such an awesome time, guys.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I would love to come back again.
Oh yes. Yes.
Maybe closer to Juneteenth to help push that a little bit for you
Yes.
guys.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
But make sure you guys come out here and just show your support and get that's the big thing I think I'm going to push this month for
Mhm.
February. Be educated,
yeah.
Yeah.
because it's just important. If you're not
And if you've
educated,
got-
what are you going to know?
If you've got grandma's stuff hanging out in the basement or
Yes.
old documents you haven't gone through or old
Yes.
pictures, please consider donating,
Mhm.
either permanently or even just loaning it to help tell the story of Warren
Share the
County.
stories. Yes.
Yeah, tell the stories. Well, with that said, it is 5 minutes till 11, and I have to go and do my next appointment. And I have to get up. This is where it's going to look awkwardly weird because I wanted to do it differently today. But remember, y'all can hold up the finger for me today.
Okay.
Not the bad one. I'm looking at you, Rebecca.
She looks like a troublemaker.
She does, don't she? Remember, Warren County, keep it first. Yeah.